ML Sports Take here, brought to you by Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company and St. Bonaventure University's Master of Arts in Journalism, Digital or Sports. Make sure you visit sbujournalism.com. Get started today. Get your guide. Remember, graduating in a year and a half. No application fee or GRE, GMAT required, and 100% online. Flexible for your schedule. Visit sbujournalism.com. The Master of Arts in Journalism, Digital or Sports, sbujournalism.com. Ugly one earlier today at the Riley Center. And, you know, the first few things that kind of come to mind. Number one, I mean, this is Fordham. You're home. It's Fordham. The Riley Center was so quiet today, by the way. I have no doubt that the people of Allegheny and Olean and the surrounding area love their Bonnie basketball. But my God, I mean, you can love your basketball and be a complete no-show and no factor as far as like rooting your team on. I mean, how many more pictures do I have to see? How many cutaways of the fans do I have to see, like this? All the time in the Reds, right? It's like, if you're going to go to the games, can you just at least clap? Can you do something? Can you be loud? Can you do anything? I mean, this arena is totally and utterly built on the student body. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. I am done trying to think that the crowd in the town can make some kind of a difference, because it was a sit on your hands kind of game. It was dreadful to watch. This game was unbelievable that Fordham went in, not only pushed them around, but defensively is where I want to start with St. Bonaventure. This team was losing track of itself everywhere on the basketball floor. They were missing assignments. There were cross-court passes. Guys were missing screens. They couldn't read the basketball. Fordham got into the paint so many times and got so many easy looks. And all of these things contributed to equal 50.9% from the floor. Fordham, an 8-8 team with a piss-poor offense, came into the Riley Center and shot 51% just about from the floor. That is unacceptable. Both teams had 34 rebounds. The assist mark was advantage 5 for Fordham because the passing looked crisp and easy. A couple of times, maybe it didn't in the first half. A couple of times in the second half, it didn't. But Bonaventure didn't know where the basketball was a lot of times on defense. And the lockdown Schmidt defense, when you needed it, it wasn't there consistently. Fordham drained, 9 threes in this game. They went 9 for 25. Really, really frustrating game from a defensive standpoint for sure. Bonaventure really didn't turn it over at all. I mean, both Fordham and Bonnie had 9 turnovers apiece. So the defense really, really bothered me in this game. And, you watch Fordham go in there and score 80 points, and you got some major problems. There were some plays late that really bothered me. I mean, this game was, over and over again. It was a 5-point game and then a 3-point game after Pride makes the layup and the free throw, that and one with 13 seconds to go. And then Schmidt, I don't understand why he called timeout with 8 seconds to go. It was almost like Bonaventure rushed up the floor to call a timeout. And by the time you inbound the ball, like, you're kind of losing a couple of seconds there. And Bonaventure's execution down the stretch as well didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, they were not really like forcing the issue. They were kind of like relaxing, bringing the ball up. And this was with 22 seconds to go and they're down 5. And I'm going, dude, you guys are down 2 possessions. What are you doing? Get the ball up the floor. Like, you need a basket here, and then you got to get a stop on the other end, which seemed to be a big time problem. There were so many just missed assignments in this game that drove me absolutely crazy. The play where Medor had the ball, right down low, and Venning just completely missed the assignment late in the game. I mean, that is just unbelievable. And then you get to the offense. I mean, the offense is literally a prayer, throwing the ball into Venning and hope that he scores, right? There's like not a lot of creativity on this team right now. There's not a lot of hope. Pride gives you 18 today. He had a really good game. 3 for 6 from the floor from 3. He had 11 rebounds in this game. He had a couple of steals. You probably could argue that he was the best player on the floor. Adams Woods with 11 points. But again, Daryl Banks III. Who is this guy? What does he do? What does he offer? 3 points on the day. It ain't going to cut it. I need Moses Flowers in that lineup. I'm done with Banks. I've had enough. I want to go Adams, Pride, Flowers, Venning, Semvis. That's what I want, even though Semvis only had 2 points today, had 7 rebounds. But again, no points. And Barry Evans today, he only played 7 minutes, but there were a couple of moments in the first half. He had that cheapy floaty, and then he missed a layup again later on. Usually he's up in that 12, 13, 14-minute mark. Today it was only 7 for whatever reason. At some point, it's got to be more than just, wow, Barry Evans is a great defender, and he does so many awesome things, and he has an assist, and he rebounds and steals, and he's an awesome defender, and he runs the floor really well on both ends, but he's always putting up donuts. Like, eventually, Barry Evans has got to score points. I mean, this is a guy who's supposed to be developing in the program with an all-around game, and he's now a sophomore in the program. He's a 6'9", 220-pound kid who should be able to score at least 4 or 5 points when he's in there, and he's giving you nothing from a point perspective off the bench. He's killing them from a scoring standpoint. Today, he actually did nothing except for really that one block. Brown had a couple of good moments, bad moments, finishes with 8. Moses Flowers with 10 points, but I feel like he's a spark plug off the bench. He needs to start. I am so done with Banks. I've really honestly had enough. I would almost play with, listen to this. I got this idea today when Brown was in the game. You're dumping the ball down low all the time. Why not the next time out surprise the opponent and play the big boys both, Venning and Brown? You play Brown down low, you have Venning in the mid-range a little bit to try to create some more movement and all the rest. You go big, Flowers, Pride, Adams. What can it hurt? And then you have Asembas coming off the bench, Evans coming off the bench, Banks and Luke coming off the bench. By the way, Luke has just completely been a non-factor on this team as well. I'm not really emotionally involved anymore with this team. 4 or 5 minutes into this game today, I just felt that there was literally no way that they were going to win the game. They didn't have energy. The defense was horrific. The offense was just bland and lacked creativity. And I really don't know how to feel anymore about this team other than the fact that they're going to sleepwalk through this entire season. They're going to have a couple of really great moments. They're going to have some really great games. I would not be surprised to see them lose. I guess that they're going to beat Rhode Island. I don't know. At home, I don't know who they can beat anymore after what I watched today. But let's say they beat Rhode Island. They have 2 road games. They're going to lose at least one of those, at Mason, at Duquesne. There's no way they're going to win both of those. And they had St. Joe's at home. Okay. VCU at home. I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me to see them beat Dayton on the road and then win like 7 games in a row and get us right back in. But if they get hot late, this team can do things. This team is talented. This team can work together. But today was awful. Today, they looked horrific. And you've got a lot of holes in the lineup now. You have a lot of guys who just can't take care of business when it matters. You have a lot of guys who just gave up defensively, missed assignments like crazy. And there really aren't any excuses for today, you knew going into this game that Medora was going to be dangerous. She gave up 16 points to the guy. You knew Rose was going to be dangerous. She gave up 19 points to the guy. So 35 points for their 2 quickest, best, probably overall players at guard. The Fordham bench torched you. The Fordham bench absolutely torched you. 10, 18, 22, and 7 is 29 points in this game. They crushed St. Bonaventure. And by the way, Fordham had 23 free throw attempts and missed 8. They were terrible from the free throw line. So there were so many things in this game that drove me nuts. Bonaventure made 20 free throws out of 22. Let me repeat that. 20 of 22 free throws. They scored over half their, over a quarter of their points from the free throw line and lost the game. I mean, so it's a disappointing situation. This is a 10-5 team. There have been moments where you think they're going to rise this year, and now I'm kind of leaning the other way, feeling that they're going to fall. When you look at 74 points, you're just quick math here. I mean, 15, 20 points, 8, Fordham 80 points. You round up Bonaventure's, 75 to 80 points. Let's say if they had kind of gotten, within one possession, they're late. They were there, one possession late. And at Fordham, my God, if they hit a few more free throws, this is a double-digit victory. That's how ridiculous it's going. It was going for St. Bonnie in this game. So, really not sure how they're going to pick up the pieces from here. I just don't know why the energy level was this way. You come home to the RC. I understand it's not a crazy, energetic crowd with students, 3,800 plus people. I mean, I'm assuming that today, I guess some kids probably stayed home and some kids elected to come back to campus. I have no idea. I'm assuming classes start again on Monday, right? Or Tuesday, I guess, after Dr. King Day. But this was just a brutal performance across the board. And the final thing I'll say is going back to the holes in the lineup point. Think about the non-factors on this team right now, like overall non-factors. You might get a splash of a jump shot and a wild, great three by Banks, who, by the way, did have a really good, 3-point fake, and then he went to the line. It was a good read by him. That was pretty much the only thing he's done in like several weeks, to be able to try and get some points for his team while the clock stopped. But again, the problem is for St. Bonnie, they only missed, missed 2 free throws the entire game, as I mentioned. And when Daryl Banks went to the line, he missed, that was only a 2, wasn't it? I was thinking that was a 3. So he made 1 of 1, which got it to 3 instead of 2. Like, one of the big missed free throws of the day for Bonnie was the Banks one that they needed the most to cut it to 2. I was thinking it was a 3-point shot. I was doing about 400 things at that point, and I was feeding my kid. My 4-year-old's running around. I'm picking up dinner. Oh, I'm calling for dinner. I'm picking up dinner. It was a shit show earlier. But the final thing I wanted to say is this, and I know I went a little long. I didn't mean to. I wanted to go like 4 or 5 minutes tonight because I just didn't feel like talking about this game. If you look at the 9 players on this team that played tonight, how many non-factors, like how many consistent non-factors are there on the roster, right? I think we have to kind of look at this right now, right? Complete non-factors, right? Short-term non-factors, there's probably 3 or 4. Long-term non-factors, there's probably 5, really. Because if Asemvis doesn't rebound 7 times, he doesn't do anything. That's the only thing he really does at this point. He doesn't even make 3-point shots anymore. He doesn't move in the offense. He's like, I don't know what he does. Defensively, he's hit and miss. So he's basically, I'm pretty close to erasing him right now as a non-factor. Banks is definitely a non-factor. Barry Evans is basically, for me, a non-factor at this point because he can't score. I mean, I can get, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, steals, the defense, but then he has like these games 1 every 4 or 5. So it's like, what does he deliver for you? Luke is a non-factor. So you've got 4 or 5 easy non-factors here, probably long-term, and that is a big problem. So I would play Flowers, and I would put him in the starting lineup right now. ML Sports Take here, brought to you by Stumble Monkey Brewing Company and Camillus Golf Club. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody stays warm over the weekend in Western New York, and this season is going off the rails. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.